on the earth, hearts in this moment. Let's begin. Hi, Brenda. Good. How are you? So, how have you been the last week?
Good. Good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, been kind of anticipating this particular recording, so I brought extra calming. I've got my amethyst. I'm holding it because I want to make sure I remain calm during this episode. You know how I can get. But yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
That just made me think of. I know you don't have TikTok, but there's this sound on TikTok that a lot of people use, where it's like this lady being like, "That's not fair." And then she stops and she's like, "I gotta calm down. I'm an adult." Just like it's hilarious. I'll have to find it for you.
TikTok. I just don't use TikTok. I do have a. Turn my volume up just a little bit. Manners. Okay, never. I do have TikTok. I just don't do TikTok. But I did create an account, and I am following the Meditative Groomer on TikTok. is this show on? Do we have a TikTok for this show or for?
We do.
Okay, so I'll have to make sure I follow that.
Yeah, and actually, there have been comments, like, because I've been putting up snippets of the podcast, though I haven't been lately because I got behind with the recordings. But it should be better now. So, but
got some work done on your tattoo though yesterday. Yes. How was that?
That was good. We were working on details, so it doesn't feel like much got done. He like basically was doing like this stuff here. He did this. This will. You can see that that's like brighter right now. Sorry, for everybody not watching right now, I'm talking about one of the ships he added new stuff to, and so like that part's brighter. Like it'll all blend better once it heals. But then he finished like this part of the ship here on my wrist. Not my favorite. So I found out apparently there's like a 1-inch band of like a tendon that goes like around your wrist, like right here, like right where the bend is. Yeah, and so he's like, anytime you go over a tendon, it's gonna hurt a lot because the tendon hurts. And another part that hurt, he said, there's a tendon that goes like basically from like up here on your upper arm somewhere to all the way to your pinky, and it comes like down around this way. And so right here, it's like a cross section of tendon. It was not fun. So, which makes me wonder though, like, because I'm worried about my elbow, like hurting a lot. And I'm like, but there's no like tendons there. Bone. Yeah, there's bone.
Yeah, so I mean, so my most painful tattoo was the one on my finger.
Yeah.
Because it's just bone. You know, there's nothing underneath. You know, between the skin, it's just bone.
I got fat arms except for on my freaking elbow.
See, these, you know, the ones I have on my forearms, I mean, I could have slept through those.
Yeah.
The one on my shoulder, like, I could have slept through this.
This part, no issue. I even, like, here, in, like, on the inside of my upper arm, I thought that was going to hurt like hell. But no. And he started doing it, and I'm like, are you doing it? So, yeah. This part on my inner, like, elbow, like, on the side here, where my TARDIS is, that hurt a lot. And I think he said there was a tendon there. It's part of that tendon that goes like around. Yeah. So yeah. I'm glad this actually on my arm went better. He's worked on this ship like 4 different times now because it had a hard time. Each time I've had a hard time healing this area where it's the Heart of Gold from Space, no, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I have to believe you.
I'm mostly saying it so that the listeners have an idea.
There's other people out here that totally understand it. So.
Yeah, but it's that one. He's worked on that ship multiple times now because it always struggles to heal. And the first time when he did like the main, other than the lining, like the lines, I never have any issue with that. It's when they start doing the shading and coloring and stuff like that. So like the first time he started doing shading and coloring on this one, it actually swelled up like a big old lump on my arm. It was insane. I've never seen any of my tattoos heal like that before. And yeah, a lot of the color didn't stick the first time. So I don't know why this area right here just doesn't like tattoos.
Kind of like when you do creative grooming.
Yeah, it's like, why does this area of the dog not want to hold the color?
It doesn't hold color. Sometimes it's the texture of the hair.
Yeah.
Soft, not soft enough.
Yeah. But yeah, I love my artist because he's obviously a wonderful artist, if I do say so myself. And he really likes to like he's a painter too. So he also like color is his big thing. He loves doing color, and most artists with this would have a really hard time because all of these ships are gray. But he added, blues and oranges for reflections, and so it made it more dynamic without like losing the ship. And a lot of artists don't do that. It's gray. Maybe a little shading, but
pretty much had a different tattoo person do all of my tattoos. The first one I got done was at a house party by some guy. All I remember is his name was Joe, and he didn't have any tattoos himself. Yeah. Which was odd, but he did a beautiful job. Which I want that one covered up because it's old and I just don't care for it anymore. So eventually I may get that covered up, or I may not, because let's face it, I don't have the money to do it, and yeah, and I've been told by a couple different artists that it's going to be hard to cover. Yeah. So who knows?
Maybe you could just like morph it into something.
Well, isn't that what cover up is?
But like, it doesn't have to be fully covered up. Is
right,
what I'm saying.
They work some artwork around it.
You should talk to my guy.
I tell you what, this guy who did this, I had this one done
beautiful.
down. Yeah, no, you can't see it. But, I had this one done in New Orleans during Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
The first day we arrived, I had this done, and it healed beautifully. He did it so quick, like really good. I mean, he drew this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the spot, and yeah, I have no complaints at all. I love it.
That is. How much did you spend on that out of curiosity?
$250, I think, total.
That's.
I think it was $250 total. Well, and that was without the tip.
Yeah.
Because I put $100 down when I made the appointment, and then I think it was $150, and then I don't know. I think I probably give him $100 tip. But I think I think total it was $250 without the tip.
Yeah. That's
and
I think
I was thinking I want to get Charlie on this shoulder. And I really think I'm gonna take some pictures to this guy. His name is Henry. I can't remember the name of the tattoo shop on Frenchman Street off the top of my head, but he did a phenomenal job, and I think I'm gonna have him do Charlie on the shoulder. I don't know when next time we're going this year. We're going again to New Orleans this year, but I'm not gonna do a tattoo this year.
My first two tattoos were one was. I turned 18 and I got my memorial tattoo of my grandpa on my back. I had been wanting that since I was 12 because that's when he died. And that was just an okay shop. They did fine. It wasn't anything spectacular, but nothing terrible either. I was happy with it, and I'm still happy with it. And then my second one is on my shoulder blade. I'm probably going to get that one reimagined because I want to keep the basics of it. I got it for free from someone who was training. And I had this drawing that I used to do and of a girl. It was a little cartoon girl, and I had her do brown hair and brown eyes to represent my sister. So I like the tattoo. It's a little, I'd like more to it. It's not very artistic. I want to reimagine it. I want to keep that's my next one is once I'm finished this. Because I do want to reimagine that one. But after that, I got this tattoo, my scissors, from Mark for the first time, and I haven't went to another one since. Well, except for this one, and that one, I even messaged him, and I'm like, just so you know, I am getting a tattoo by someone else. It's nothing against you. It's just that we were traveling. Me and Meg were traveling to Marky. Yeah, so like we were traveling, but outside of that, all of them have been Mark.
My daughter is she's fairly well inked right now. She's almost got a full sleeve on one arm, and now she's got a big piece on her leg. But she's all of hers have been done by the same artist, and she's so she's. I mean, we're in Wisconsin. She lives in California now. Her tattoo guy is here in Wisconsin, although he's kind of moved around, but he's back and he's in Wisconsin now. And she's kind of thought about should she find somebody out in California because she'd like to do more. She'd like to have more tattoos done, but it's a process. You know, she's got to come to Wisconsin, then we got to get her to wherever he's at. You know, there's an appointment. It's big. It's not an easy.
Yeah.
And
but
he's phenomenal. For one, he's phenomenal for one. He is the only person that's ever done her, and he charges her next to nothing just for that specific reason.
Yeah.
Because she's
his.
Over 10 years.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So
and
Jackie is, oh my gosh, how old is Jackie? Jackie is 29. My baby's 29. And she got her first tattoo, I believe she was 18. So maybe 18 or 19 is when she got the first one done. So for a decade, she's had the same tattoo and the only tattoos. And I'm like, yeah, don't ruin that.
Yeah.
You know, don't go somewhere else and then go back and because you'll go back.
Yeah.
Because you'll go back.
Oh yeah.
Whereas I've always been to different people, so I haven't really established that. You know.
Once you find the right one, man. Yeah. Part of it too is that Mark is just really cool to talk to.
I mean, I do 7-hour sessions, so like it has to be someone that I can talk to, and he's super ADHD. And we trauma dump to each other the whole time.
Like your stylist. Yeah, I get it.
So, yeah, and I told him he is a little older than me. And I'm like, just so you know, like, because he's like, well, I signed a 3-year lease, so you've got at least 3 years to finish this. And I'm like, no, Mark, if you move, I will find you.
That's right.
I'm like, as long as you are tattooing, I will be going to. I'm like, once you're retired, I'll leave you alone. I'll still be sad, but I'll leave you alone.
Yeah, I get it.
I was like, you can't get rid of me, man.
I get it.
So, but yeah, so that's tattoos.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll talk about them again.
Yeah.
At some point.
And we ended up having kind of a less productive session yesterday. So he only charged me like half of what I was going to pay him.
Good.
And I'm like, cool, I'll see you in November then. Because I'm just going to save it.
Exactly.
I don't have time. Like, because once All American comes, it's traveling every 2 weeks, and I can't with like trying to heal. I'm like, I'll be back in November after all my traveling's done, and we'll get another session in because I love getting more work.
I don't know. Maybe I'll have to think about it. Maybe I will talk to my husband and see because we are going to New Orleans in November. Kind of just a 5-day trip. So, but maybe I'll see if I can finagle. See, when we went this last time during Mardi Gras, we were actually staying just like 2 blocks away from where the tattoo guy was. So Sam and I walked over there, and then he left. He went back to our B, and then when I was wrapping it up, he came back, and we walked back together. And actually, no, I take that back. I just walked by myself. I sent him a message. I'm done. Started walking, and we met about across the street or whatever from our place. This time we're going and we're not staying anywhere near the border. We're going for Beignet Fest. I'm obsessed with New Orleans. Yeah. So, I love New Orleans. I love going to New Orleans. But this year we're going for Beignet Fest, and we're staying by City Park, which is quite a distance from the French Quarter. Now it's walkable, but it's like a 45-minute walk. Which, I mean, I'll do it. I would do it. But we can also hop on a cable car or a trolley, whatever they're called. It's not the trolley. It's the cable car.
Get one of the crazy Ubers.
Right. Well, no, Uber's really expensive, but the public transportation is easy. It just takes longer, right? We can do that, and that'll take us straight from one point to the other point. So we'll see. Maybe I'm thinking about, because we're gonna do some other stuff besides Beignet Fest. Beignet Fest is just one day, so we got some plans for some other stuff that we're gonna do. And,
Sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I was gonna say the last time I was in New Orleans, it was for one of John's friends' weddings.
Yeah.
And so we got a big Airbnb for a bunch of us, and we were all over the city for different events and stuff. So we were taking Ubers, and every single one of those Ubers drove insane people. We just had some of the best Uber drive, the funniest, it was the most entertaining rides. It was terrifying sometimes, but most of them they would tell us stories and I only take Ubers when I'm with people because I don't feel comfortable doing it by myself. But I have been in Ubers a lot, all over the place, and you get good Ubers, but nothing where it's I'm gonna tell everybody about it. But every single Uber in New Orleans was oh my god, that was I could write a blog about just that one guy.
Yeah, we Ubered. Well, we were there for Mardi Gras this year. We took 2 Ubers. The first Uber we took to go to the restaurant when we went to eat, and then we walked back. So we went to Commander's Palace, which is in the Garden District, and then we had to walk back to the quarter. That Uber was fine. It wasn't memorable. It was just fine. But it's chaotic down there during Mardi Gras. They close down roads, getting places.
It was right at the beginning of Mardi Gras.
Walking all around. So. And then the second Uber we took the bus to the zoo, and then from the zoo we decided to Uber to Algiers Point, which initially I thought we were going to Uber to Canal Street and then take the ferry across to Algiers, but we ended up, I accidentally put us at the other side. So, which was actually better. So our driver drove us. Wow. And then as we were driving, he was phenomenal. We got his whole history. He was actually from the area where we were going. And so he drove us past the house he grew up in, which was crazy, but it was really cool. But he actually ended up driving us. Usually when you get an Uber, you tell them where you want to go, and that's where they take you. And they don't deviate a lot because you paid for this trip.
Yeah.
And that's what they're getting paid for, so they don't deviate. This guy was like, well, where do you want me to drop you off? Because we had already knew we made a mistake as far as thinking where we were going. And I'm like, well, can you just drop us off at the taco place that we're going to? Because it was, just a few blocks away from where we scheduled our drop. And he's like, oh, yeah, no problem. So he dropped us off, there. And so that was pretty cool. And then we ferried back to the French Quarter. And that was crazy. But the line for the ferry was great because it's Mardi Gras. And it was the Monday. I can't remember what they call Lundi Gras was going on Monday. And so it was crazy crowded. But anyways, so we're going there in November. So maybe I'll make a tattoo. We'll see. Yeah. It's what will my husband be doing while I'm, sitting in a chair getting tattooed. So
yeah, he could also be tattooed. Just saying.
I don't think he's gonna ever get another tattoo. He's one. Yeah. He has one tattoo.
John's the same.
Yeah, and he just doesn't have that desire.
Yeah.
To get tattoos. So.
There's John's maybe, but he got the one, and his is we had a How I Met Your Mother themed wedding, and so I got a yellow umbrella. And he got a blue French horn so that they match with that.
Oh, that's cute.
So they're matching tattoos, but it's not weird. But yeah, so he has just the one.
Sam has my name tattooed on his ring finger, so he's mine.
Yeah, I think he'd rather spend money on pinball. That's the thing.
Yeah, fair. Sam has no interest in tattoos. That's fine. He doesn't care if I have them. Not that it would matter if he did, right? Yeah. It's my body, my choice. But he doesn't. So our theme today is going to be All-American, the All-American Grooming Show. So I wanted to give a little bit of history about the All-American Grooming Show.
over here drinking some coffee.
No,
so
it's
I was
good.
just like,
good.
yes.
Nothing more All-American than that. Okay, so the All-American Grooming Show is the longest consecutively running grooming show in the world. It started back in, well, technically, so Jerry Shinberg is the founder of the All-American Grooming Show. We lost Jerry in 2013. He started.
Just barely missed him.
Yeah, he started. He was fantastic too. He was a great human being.
Like I had started grooming, but I wasn't like.
Yeah.
I didn't know about All American at first, and so like I didn't get to see that. I came into the actual like industry.
Yeah, no, he was phenomenal. So he actually started a grooming show in 1973, and that was the first year he had a show. And by the following year is when it became the All American Grooming Show.
Yeah.
So it's been running. This 2025 will be the 53rd year of the All American Grooming Show. So Jerry started it, and yeah, he's lovingly known as the godfather of the grooming show, godfather of creative.
Yeah.
That's where creative actually was born, from Jerry's brain. And I don't know if you've ever heard the creative, the origin story of the creative competition.
I haven't
heard it. I knew that it came from him, but I've never heard the story.
So what happened is, I don't know exactly the year it began, but I think it was a couple years into the show that he had created. He decided he wanted to see something different. He wanted people to kind of, reach different things. He didn't want to see the same. So he said, "Hey, let's do something different." And so that following year, or that year, I'm not sure exactly how the timeline. They had a competition that was supposed to be, creative or different. I'm not sure how it was worded. Well, let's just say he was underwhelmed. And he let everybody know how underwhelmed he was, that this is not what he wanted. He wanted people to, just get outside the box and really, wow him. So the following year, a groomer, and I think I knew her name at one time, but of course I can't remember it, and I forgot to research it to find out if anybody else had remembered her name. But she put together a creative, what do they call it, entry, and it was a beautifully executed spiral trim, nose to tail on a standard poodle, and she lovingly called it "Screw You, Jerry." So that was really the origin story. And Jerry would tell this story from time to time, and it's just a beautiful story. I'm sure somebody somewhere has a recording of him telling the story, because it's always great to hear it from him. In 2012 was the 40th anniversary, and that was the first time I competed in creative with Charlie. And so it was great. And then, of course, that was the year. Sadly, that was the year Jerry retired.
Yeah.
So then it became a Barclay show, and it's been a Barclay show since 2013.
Yeah.
Jerry is also credited with brainstorming, along with Shirley Kelstone, the groom team. So he was quite the influencer, innovator, pioneer in the industry. So we owe a lot to Jerry Shinberg, and we should remember him fondly wherever he is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I have a seminar that I talk about like the history of grooming, and I do talk about
what history I could find information on, even like up in the last you have information. But yeah, I'll have to kind of go through some of that, because I would love to put stuff about him. I do talk about John Nash. He was a very influential person. Also, I do talk about like the history of Barclay and how it started with Sally and Gwen, who I believe has Sally passed away.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and Gwen is still alive though.
Gwen is still alive.
Yeah,
now Sally was the groomer.
Yeah.
Gwen is not a groomer, never has been. Todd is not a groomer, never has been.
Yeah.
Sally was the groomer. But
Gwen was the one that came up with like a lot of the.
Yes, and they were best friends.
Yeah.
Like there's a book, I have it somewhere. dig it out if you want to read it. It's a easy read. It's not a big book, but it's basically the origin story of Sally and Gwen and Barkley. Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty cool. And also like Terry DiMarino,
there's a lot of history.
She's a wealth of knowledge. She's the one that wrote these articles that I'll share with you. But yeah, she's
I keep meaning to like have a chat with Terry so that I could get more information for it because I would like to add more. I have a fairly I go back to like I start with how dogs kind of went how dogs.
Right. You go to the history of grooming itself.
Yeah, I talked about I went through the history of the basic history of dogs, how they evolved, and then went into, and then grooming started, and this is how it was at this time, and then this is when we started having the HVAC dryer and stuff like that. So I think I did a pretty good job with it, but I know there's so much that is in a lot of the older groomers' brains that I still need to pick out. I do want to expand that class.
Yeah. So. Yeah, well, you should.
But yeah, that is a really cool.
Yeah, you're welcome to borrow this little pile I have here. I do want it back. This is the book they gave us at the 40th All-American show. So I still have it. I still have the pin that came, the 40th anniversary pin.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was pretty special. And like I said, this was the first time that Charlie and I competed.
Yeah.
Was at the All-American 40th.
Nice.
Actually, the only time.
Yeah.
I haven't competed in creative since then.
Yeah.
I do plan to compete again when I get my new puppies. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. All-American was the first show I went to because it's basically our home. I mean, I was in Illinois at the time too, so it was really my home show, being in Chicago. But I feel like even
people up here, we all say Chicago's our home show.
So. It is, yeah. Well, there's nothing in Wisconsin, so that would be our home show. So yeah, someday. The first time I attended All-American was in '93, when I got out of grooming school.
Yeah.
And then I didn't go back. I missed out until about 2005. I think is when the next time I went to a grooming competition. And since 2005, I've been almost every year.
Yeah.
I missed a couple years somewhere in there sporadically.
Yeah.
But otherwise I've gone every year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the Bell City grooming show in Racine.
That'd be cool.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Someday. It's a lot of money to start up a show. That's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
When we
you
were.
You gotta have the money to start it.
Yeah, because you have to put down all of the deposits and stuff for the place, and when I was in Korea, I was talking with the Korean Kennel Club director of foreign affairs, and they want to try to have shows in more countries, and they were asking why don't we have more model dog shows here? And we're like, the people who want to do model dogs, they can't. We don't have money to start a show.
And it's getting more and more difficult.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of the independent shows are picking up model dog. But model dog has been hard to spread.
Yes, it's like even like cat, including cats in the competitions and just seminars with cats. It's there. I mean, there's usually the bigger shows like Barkley shows will usually have at least one cat seminar. They're getting better as far as having more cat seminars. But even that, it's we need a show that's going to embrace these things to grow them, and that's the struggle. Shows
that is one thing I really like.
It's there's not enough call for it. Well, if you create it, people will come to it. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Instead
of two episodes in a row talking about
Field of Dreams, right? Instead of just waiting for people to, you just have to put it out there, and then they'll come.
I will say that's the thing I love so much about Teton, especially since Quincy took over.
Yeah, she's open.
She's very
so
open.
I actually talked to her about our seminar idea that you came up with.
Yeah, it was just I We should spitball and stuff.
But
now you've locked us in.
I'm like, well, do you think people would be interested in this? Yeah. And she's like, and she actually talked to a lot of her people there, and a lot of them were interested, depending on what we.
Sure. They want to know what we're gonna do. Yeah, we'll have to. That's something we'll have to definitely spitball back and forth. And maybe once we get through all these shows. And I don't mean the podcast shows. I mean like the show, the schedule,
grooming shows.
When we actually have some time that
we can get a little crazy.
Right. So once we get through the shows, and then we can have a little, some free time, we can actually throw some ideas around.
We're going to the Barclay Awards. John is going to fly down that night if I get nominated. He hasn't gotten the tickets because we're waiting to see if I get nominated. I'm like, I don't need you to come if I'm not. Right. Like, I'm gonna go enjoy it, but like, I don't need you there for that. But like, if I'm nominated, he's coming down for the night so that he can watch. So I'm excited, and this time I want to get the dinner. So last time I didn't do the dinner.
So what to wear? Okay, so I have my Bridgerton dress for the party.
Yes, and I got my Bridgerton outfit.
So we're set for that.
I am going all out, guys.
It's Friday night, right? That's Friday night. So Saturday is the dinner. Sorry, excuse me. Saturday is the dinner and the awards ceremony. So I have two options. I think I'll bring them both with and maybe decide there. But I have a long dress that's like orange color. And then I have a little black bolero sweater that I wear with it. Mm-hmm. It's comfortable. Not very glamorous, but it's comfortable. Or I have the dress I wore to my fancy dinner at Mardi Gras, which is the sequined green, gold, purple.
I vote that one.
Which is definitely... I'm not getting nominated for anything.
But still, everyone still gets dressed up, and yeah, that's like the fun part. Everybody's all pretty and dressed up in all sorts of fancy outfits. Some of the guys actually will rent tuxes. I was debating on renting a tux for myself because I don't like wearing dresses. They're uncomfortable, and that's why I tend to I do a lot of the gender bending when we do bunko costumes, because I don't like a lot of the girly clothes.
Just throwing this out there. I mean, whatever you decide is fine. I do have a tie that kind of matches the dress that you could definitely borrow if you wanted to go that way. So let me know. I'll probably bring it. I'll just bring it just in case.
Yeah. Now I'm totally renting a tux.
Well, I mean, it's a necktie.
Well, yeah, but I'm gonna, or not a tux,
but rent a suit.
I'm gonna rent a suit.
Yeah, I mean.
And then we can match. It'll
it's
be
got
like
a little
prom.
Pocket square and the tie. Yeah, we like prom.
And
only if we can get a picture like the Coldplay camp. You stand.
Yes, we got to do that. But also, I'm having a moment. The guy who does pictures for Barclay,
Ren.
He takes pictures of the Barclay honors people, but he also he was pretty cool about taking other pictures if you wanted, posed pictures in front of his backdrop. Oh, we could do a prom picture. We just got to pay for it, but yeah.
Hey, he does good work. I don't mind paying for a prom picture from Ren. And you know what? Just a disclaimer, since we're going to talk about this show particularly, just shows in general. Don't be a fucking thief. I don't think any of our listeners are thieves, but please, tell your friends. Don't be a thief.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
We had stuff stolen from the booth that we work in. People come and steal, but at this last show in California, was there a lot of it? Well, there was a camera, one of Ren's cameras, a $7,000 camera, was stolen. And it's what the hell is wrong with people? Stop. Just don't do it. So
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he had his camera stolen. It was insane.
Yeah, it is insane. So please don't do that. Please don't be a thief.
But also,
and if you see somebody being a thief,
either.
Right? If you see somebody being a thief, just give them the look.
Yeah.
I don't expect anybody to tackle or anything, but make sure you make eye contact with them, because I think a lot of time thieves thieving is just opportunity. And once it's acknowledged, people most people, normal, sane human beings would be like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm ashamed. I don't want to get caught. And somebody's looking at me. I'm not going to do it. Other people are blatant and they just suck at life. But
I always loved, and it happened the most at All American last year when I worked the booth. There's a lot of thievery in general. I don't know why All American's always the worst.
Just don't do it. Just don't be a thief.
Don't be a jerk. These vendors, even the big ones, a lot of them are family owned. Pet Store Direct is family owned.
They pay a lot of money to come to the show.
Yeah, they pay a lot of money to come to the show.
If they're not making money or they're losing money, they're not going to come to the show. They're just going to stop doing it, which means you're going to lose these, big vendors that have everything you want and need.
And even the small vendors, though, they are spending. Yeah. It is kind of a risk as a business.
Oh, it is, absolutely.
A small business to, it's $1,000 for one of those teeny tiny booths.
Yeah.
And it's
and you can make that. If you don't make that, if you're spending that, the idea. Anybody who knows anything, even if you're not an owner, if you buy products, you want to make that money back. Mm-hmm. The idea of a good business is to not lose money, right? You don't necessarily have to be making hand over fist money, but you don't want to lose money.
Yeah.
Right? And so for these little, like you said, $1,000 for this teeny tiny booth, if they don't make at least $1,000,
they're
money. Out of pocket, right? Yeah. So they've got to make at least $1,000 just to be able to say, okay, it's worth it to come back.
Yeah.
But any business, if you haven't made any kind of profit by 3, you got to take a look at what you're doing, because that's.
And I think a lot of people too will think, oh, this one comb isn't going to kill them, but when a bunch of people are doing them,
attitude, yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah, and hey, get it. We get it. Shit's expensive. And it's gonna get worse, right? Mm-hmm. Shit's gonna get more and more expensive. But stealing it is not gonna help anybody in the long run. So just don't be a damn. Okay. Anyways, I'll get off that soapbox so we can jump on to another
tangent.
One.
Do you want to do your tarot?
Oh, sure. So I already pulled it. So it is the world: completion, integration, travel, accomplishment, fulfillment, harmony, possibilities, success, achievement, wholeness. So I think that's a good card for going to grooming shows if you decide you want to compete. Yeah. Possibilities, success, achievement, travel, it's all in there. So hey, I hope we see you at the show. And 2, if you do come to the All American show, stop at the Pet Store Direct booth, because that's where Stephanie and I will be working, and say hello.
Yep. And
tell us where you heard, tell us how you know us in podcast. If you don't come to All American, we will also be at Hershey.
Yep.
And we will be I will be at the New England show.
Yeah.
I think Hershey is your last show this year.
It is.
Okay.
American show.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're going to
the UK.
Okay. So hey, if you're in the UK, look up Stephanie. So, and then next year we'll be at random shows. We'll let you know.
I'm going to try to get our business cards ordered this week so that we can have cards on us.
Yeah, just something simple that just podcast where to find us.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So.
Cool.
Yeah. But that was a good tarot pull.
Yeah. It works. Yeah. Okay. So I do have a few notes, but you're gonna lead us, because I don't have.
Oh yeah, I have the thing.
Have the thingy. So.
Whew, right. I just breathed in too hard. I know that makes no sense, but.
Hey, you're breathing hard. I get it.
So we're going to talk about All American and kind of it's a little bit off topic, but I wanted to kind of talk about the words All American and kind of that the feelings that it can provoke.
So I'm going to just recommend that we kind of go through some stuff just show stuff first, but I'm with you. I want to talk about it too.
Okay.
But I kind of like to do the show stuff first, and then come back to
that works.
Words and what that means outside of the show, sort of in our world.
So, do we want to talk about?
I think you have the words prep in there, like preparing for the show.
Prep and recovery.
Yeah. So like I said, I made a few notes. So when I think of prepping for the show, I think about like what to wear, what to bring, comfortable shoes, sweater or a sweatshirt, because sometimes those classrooms are cold.
Yeah. Wear layers.
Yeah. Something
especially
you can remove or add.
The All-American Grooming Show, it's in August, and it's always hot as balls outside. But then the inside,
it's chilly.
Yeah, it's chilly. Yeah. There was like one year where the air conditioning wasn't working great in the like expo hall, and it got insanely hot.
Yeah.
But even usually the like that will stay pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty consistent. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Wear layers, comfortable shoes. You put this in a post for somebody with something to write on and something to write with,
yes.
or whatever, however you like to take notes. Maybe it's your phone. Mm-hmm. I've taken pictures of, I've taken a picture of like the screen when there's a PowerPoint. I've written stuff down. Sometimes I just listen. It just kind of depends, but bring, whatever you need to take notes. Bring your lists. Mm-hmm. Bring your lists of the must-haves. What do I have to have?
Yeah.
Sharpening. If you have stuff to be sharpened or repaired, bring that along. Drop it off first thing.
I was gonna say with the having a list, it's really important to have a list of what you like want to get. Having like the list of these are the things I have to get,
yes.
and like a list of these are things I want to check out.
Yes.
Because it is very overwhelming when you get in
yes.
there.
And
I lose track every time.
I highly recommend do some research. Like make a list of stuff that you need, right? Like I really need a new dryer. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you write that down. Do some research before the show. Like check out the websites, Canine or Shambao or whatever, different dryers. Get some ideas of prices, what they're going to do for you. What do you need? If you're only doing small dogs, maybe a Canine 2 is more than you need. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But if you're doing a lot of big hairy dogs, maybe you need the Canine 3. So have a little idea, have an idea of price, so that you have the money for that too. It's also important
when you're going to get any sort of electrical equipment, know what your shop can handle.
Yes. That's a good point.
Like the canines cannot work on a regular, power.
Right, you need extra ampage for that. Yeah, so that's a good idea. Yeah. I never think about that. I have a husband that can, he puts in the dedicated line for my grooming room, and he takes all that into account, so he knows what I can. Yeah. Although I will say there's one outlet in my grooming room, and if I plug in two things to that, two high-powered things to that, it'll trip my circuits
you gotta be careful with that.
So I definitely have to spread stuff out. I don't know, but I don't know why it happens because everything's on one circuit. But he said it's, I don't know.
We have the Schernbau dryers.
I just know don't do it.
And so like our single motor one, that one, and it works great for even like small dogs. You can do the whole small dog with it. But that one can be plugged in. You can put two of those in one plug and have no problem. But I have I also have the 2-engine one. And
all right. So we are still having some technical issues, so hopefully this will all come together in editing.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were talking about prepping for the show. So let's get into like what we can kind of do or expect at the show. So you had brought up like all the vendors that are available. I would also recommend taking a loop on the entire show before you settle in. If scissors or shears are on your list of things to buy, the show is the best place to, if not purchase them, to at least touch them, feel them, and know that this is what I want.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've heard people say, oh, I bought these shears and I hate them, and then they're selling them. And I'm always questioning, well, did you know what they were before you bought them, or did you order them online and then they showed up and they weren't what you expected? So get them in your hands, get them in your hot little hands. I have really tiny hands, so for me, it's a must to try them out.
Yeah.
Because if I just order them online, they're just not made for me.
Yeah.
So I need to touch them.
Also, it can be very overwhelming and exhausting. These shows, there's a lot of people, a lot of noise. So if you're sensitive to noise, some sort of noise canceling or like earplugs I wear or headphones, something so that you're not getting overstimulated.
Take breaks.
take breaks.
Take breaks. There's plenty of places there to take a seat.
Yeah.
Outside of the trade floor.
Like in that lobby kind of area. Right, it's a nice big space and they have lots of little seating.
Benches and stuff. Just take a break.
Yeah.
You know,
there's even like some good ones that are like kind of tucked away so you can kind of get away from all the people too.
Yeah. It's a decent space. So definitely take a break if you need to take a break.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to find. So I do have some magic in the madness that you can kind of try to ground yourself in these chaotic environments, because as fun as they are very chaotic. Magical things that you can do. Crystal in your bra or pocket.
I'll tell you which crystals in a moment, because I did.
You did research?
I did some research. No, I mean, a couple I kind of have.
I can tell you there's at least one person there every time with the crystal somewhere. Mary always has a crystal. I don't know if Mary's a keep it in your bra type person, but she always has crystals.
I don't wear bras, so I wear just camis and which just fall right through. So. I have an apron, right? I have a pocket, an apron, bag. I just have crystals in.
I'll sometimes I get ones that I can put in hair. That's a nice way to do it. When you're going into those little nooks that you can hide in, you can do breath work, kind of quiet time kind of thing, little meditation. You can use like grounding spray or oils. Yep. There you can always, depending on how boiling hot it is, there is grass outside. You can go touch grass. Yeah. That is a really good grounding technique. Put your feet in grass. That's the best one for me is when I have my feet in the grass. It's for grounding. Yeah. It's not always possible. But, right. And you can also do like sigils in your like anywhere basically. You can put them on you, on your clothes. Sigils of like calm or protection or whatever. Grounding. Yeah, that was some ideas that I came up with.
So I went through and made a list of like crystals for retaining information. So if you're going to do classes, and I listed a few because I didn't, there's tons of them out there. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But amethyst, it's good for calming, stress reducing, helps clear mental clutter, and promotes focus. Let's see, clear quartz is an amplifying stone. So that's, you carry that along with your amethyst that helps focus and memory. Fluorite. Fluorite is a genius stone. It enhances focus, concentration, and memory. I also have some crystals listed if you are competing. So again, amethyst, calming and focusing. Carnelian, which is my favorite stone, is motivation and courage. And then green aventurine is a stone of opportunity, and it brings good luck. So those are 3 stones there, crystals that you can use for competition and for
a really cool thing for like the scissors, having like the little like knob button, having like an interchangeable one so you can change out and have a different crystal in it.
Be cool. Which also supports memory. Lavender for relaxation. Peppermint awakens the mind, and it's cooling. So if you are outside in the heat, peppermint is a cool.
I love making like peppermint spray, like cooling spray. Double whammy, because then you also get the peppermint.
Lemon, uplifting and energizing, and eucalyptus for balancing mental function and improving clarity. So those are the crystals and the oils that I have.
Yeah.
And that's about all I have, which you find for this episode.
I had some things that I want to talk about as far as like prep and recovery. So there's the pre-show that we kind of talked about. It, you can make sure you're packing with intention. It can be helpful to bring charms or fidget toys. Both are good choices.
Yeah. Bring snacks.
Yep. Bring snacks.
Granola bars, bring a bottle of water.
And write some affirmations.
Oh, yeah.
One, it can be really easy to feel lonely when you go by yourself. So I think it's good to remind yourself that
you're never alone.
Just because it's a little scary doesn't mean that you're alone.
I'm sure everybody that's listening to this is on some kind of social media. So you have connected in some ways to other groomers. And if you haven't, like if you're in groups, but you're just lurking and not really, connecting, connect.
Yeah.
Connect. There's other people out there.
It can be really hard.
I mean, even if you just like somebody's post a few times, like you'll get to see, like, this is the person who posts or comments the things I'm thinking, right? Like, just connect. I guess it's easy for me to say that as the extrovert, like I'm the pushy one. I'm the one that's, forcing myself upon other people. So
Yeah. I've always had a hard time at shows before, when I didn't connect ahead of time. I have to connect with people online ahead of time because it's hard for me to start conversations. So, and that's why I like working the booth, is because I have something to start the conversation for. And then I can go from there. It's the starting. And so that's why I work booths, but also like I will just, I used to, before I did, I would just, like meet people online, and then I'd be like, hey, you're going to the same show as me, we should get together, and we'd make a plan to get together, and then I'd be able to make friends with these people. But before that, I would go to shows and it would feel very lonely because I was by myself, and trying to get myself to have conversations is very difficult. So no one started conversations with me, and I would just be like, well, everyone hates me, and go into a spiral. It was silly.
But we only know what's in our reality in that moment. Perception is our reality, and whatever we're perceiving in the moment, that's what we go with. I've had those moments too where I feel like nobody likes me or nobody wants to talk to me. I mean, there's been times when I'll say something to somebody and they don't respond, and I think, are they ignoring me? Did they hear me? I don't know. My head will tell me, depending on where I'm at in the moment, I can either just shrug it off like, oh, they didn't hear me, or I can just milk that shit and be like, oh my God, they hate me. Why do they hate me? Fuck them. I'll go down those rabbit holes too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you need to connect ahead of time, we're in the Pet Store Direct booth. If you're listening to this, come say hi.
We're usually pretty busy.
Yeah, but just say hi.
Definitely stop to say hi. We don't usually have time for more conversations, but then if you see us when we're not working, like,
and we've already connected, and you can stop and chit chat with us.
Yeah. I plan even like for extra time getting in and out like of the expo center, because I end up getting stopped by people now.
Yeah.
Which is super helpful for me. Like, if you want to talk to me, just say hello. I forgot to bring this back down. Luckily, I could hear it. Work.
Things.
Yeah, it's fine.
We're so good. Okay.
So, yeah, if you want to talk to me, just say hello,
because I probably won't. Especially like when I'm working the shows, I'm so freaking tired most of the time, and I'm just like zoning, and then somebody like says hello, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I can actually be friends with people now.
My doctor had me on not a diet, but like eating plan that because I need to lose a little bit of weight, right? Like, and I know a lot of it is just menopause weight. I think this is just who I am now. But there's days when I feel really, really sluggish. So I really want to lose a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
And so he had me on he tried to have me on like an eating plan, just, when to eat, what not to eat, what to avoid, kind of thing. And so I started it, and then we went to, what was the last show we went? Ohio?
Yeah.
So we went to Ohio, and
there's
that,
like
that just like
food anywhere.
Right. Well, and we don't get done until after 6. A lot of times.
It was pretty much all just like fast food that was there.
So that kind of threw that out the window. And then I went to Pasadena, and it wasn't really any better because I was eating really late. So, maybe after show season, I can finally get to a place where I can implement some of the changes he wanted.
Just tell the doctor, hey, we need a reevaluation for these shows because I can't do it.
Right?
Like,
he knows. But I mean, if I can just get kind of on a good schedule, even during the off season, then when I have these show seasons, it won't be that big.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm
That's
so it's
hard with doctors though, when like they tell you should do it this way, and I'm like, that's not
that.
I'm like, that's not reality. I can't. I'm like, this is not how my life works. And when they're like, I want you to get up at 6 a.m. and eat this and you have to cook everything fresh.
Right.
I'm like, first of all, I have executive dysfunction and a chronic illness. Do you really expect me to get up at 6 fucking a.m. to make myself a giant breakfast?
No. Yeah, my doctor's not that. I mean, he gets it too. He knows that he just he gave me a very general guideline, like try to, have a good breakfast, try to avoid these things. He said, from this time to this time, I don't care what you eat, whatever you want to eat, but just, do something physical,
Mhm.
take a walk, whatever. But then like no food. The whole point of what he's trying to do is reset my metabolism.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it makes complete sense, but I just haven't been able to get there because the shows threw me off. And then now there's no reason why I had a few weeks between shows. I should be back. I should be able to do it, but I'm at but I got a show coming up. So that's
What's the
me,
point?
right? So that's me going, what's the point? But I'll get back. I'll get back.
I know. I got your little stuff off of your lip. I'm the worst.
All right. So recovery.
Yeah. So recovery. So a nice ritual bath can be good for your joints and muscles, and also just for kind of calming your nervous system back down. Unplug, and that can be, depending on the person, either removing yourself from like screens. Some people, like a lot of times will go through TikTok as a relaxation thing. Like it's nice. Yes, I have things going because I need that stimulation still, but it keeps my brain stimulated so my body can relax. Is what really, because I have the ADHD and the chronic illness.
Right.
So I wish that we had nice bathtubs at these shows, though. That would be helpful.
I think the last couple rooms I was in didn't have a bathtub at all.
Yeah, it's like a shower.
Yeah, it's just a shower. No hot tubs.
No hot tubs.
So
Especially in New Jersey, apparently.
yeah. The only thing I have really down for the recovery is take the next work day off.
Yes.
Like I used to come home, and I still have moments where I'll come home from a show, and then the very next day, like Monday's the day of the show, like Sunday's the last day of the show. If I spend the night because of work, I'll usually get home sometime on Monday. Monday's always my day off.
Yeah.
So of course I'm not doing anything on the Monday. But even when I go back to work on Tuesday, it's grueling. And so for me, taking that next work day off, so I would have technically 2 days, Monday and Tuesday off, but I need that because I need to relax, unwind, check out a little bit.
Yeah. I really like that they give us Sunday night at the hotels. Where we work, because trying to go home, even from Chicago, like driving, the 2 hours or whatever home, not even 2 hours, hour and a half, like I just can't.
No. Now I will say Chicago show. I'm gonna ride down with you on Wednesday, but Sam is gonna pick me up on Sunday.
Yeah.
He's gonna show up probably.
But then you don't have to drive.
I'm not driving. He's driving, right? But he's probably gonna show up Sunday afternoon, and then we're gonna make him help us.
Yeah.
Teach him the ropes because I'm hoping to bring him he is coming with to New England, but I'm hoping that they'll let him work the show so that we can have a room together. Otherwise, I'm gonna pay for my room separate.
Yeah.
But so he's gonna bring me home Sunday night, so you'll have the room to yourself Sunday night.
Ooh.
Yeah. Unless Meg shows up, I don't know.
Meg has her own room, actually.
What?
Meg's gonna go
enjoy the show. So they're taking classes, and I'm like, please bring notes home for me.
Yes, we talked about this before too. I need to pick a show that's gonna be the show I actually go learn from, right? That I just take classes, socialize, shop. I need a show that. Which ideally would be Chicago because it's my home show.
Yeah.
Although I think it's a show that Sort of Rock kind of needs.
They need a lot of help.
They need a lot of help for that show, and I want to help them.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping. Although they don't do the very much show.
Yeah.
It's too far for them to travel. So I thought maybe that's gonna be my show that I go in.
I went to that once, and it was a pretty fun show. It was a small show.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'll be doing any shopping.
because
Yeah.
I have to fly.
Yeah.
So
And after the fact too, make sure you're hydrating. You should be hydrating the whole time, but
yes.
you're gonna be a little dehydrated after the show.
Water.
It's very dry in a lot of these shows, so like it just like sucks it out of you anyways. Snacks, soft clothes.
I have a good one. You don't already know this. Ask before you pet someone's dog. Ask. Don't just, and most of us know this already. We don't just run up and start petting people's dogs, but ask.
Especially
if you see somebody rushing to the ring, don't just get the hell out of their way.
Yeah.
Pet their dogs later.
Yeah.
You know, take pictures later. They're trying to get to a competition.
And don't take offense if someone says no.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're probably prepping for a competition or a demo, and they just don't want a lot of
hands on their
animal right then.
But like I know it's fun to take pictures of creative dogs when we see them. Sunday's the creative competition, so you're probably shouldn't be trying to take their pictures if they're not in the ring.
Yeah.
Once they're in the ring, you can take pictures.
And then after the fact, they usually hang out and like have people take pictures.
Questions.
Yeah.
Questions and stuff like that. So don't mess with the dogs or ask before you pet a dog.
Yep. It's also good to like have some like rituals that you can do throughout the day to kind of grounding yourself. You know, again, very chaotic.
Have a little mantra.
Yep. Mantra.
Drink some water and have a little mantra that you can just kind of remind yourself to, I'm safe, I'm grounded.
Yep.
You know.
So bring a friend. That's always helpful. One thing about All American is it is in a nice area for a lot of food.
No, it's not. You can't. There's no.
I mean,
you can't walk it.
Oh, not walking. I'm talking driving.
The old hotel was much better.
Oh, I agree. But like,
walk to everything.
it's at least better than fucking Ohio, where there's Wendy's and a Dairy Queen.
Yeah, that
Like,
silly. And you had to drive so far to get to the venue.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. But
Yeah, at least with All American, like there's within driving distance.
Yeah.
Amount of food. I do hate their goddamn parking lot there.
It is not big enough.
Yeah, they are. Though I did see. So when I was there for Pinball Expo, we have it at the same location last fall. They were starting on the other side of the building, the other end of the conference. They're putting in a parking garage.
Okay.
So hopefully parking is going to be a whole lot better.
We'll see. I
So-
don't parking. I'm riding.
Yeah. It's a pain in the ass if you're like, I don't leave. Once I park, I'm like,
That's
staying
the thing.
here.
Like when you talk about places to eat, you can't. They're not walkable.
Yeah.
So you really have to drive. So that's that's the drawback. Once you park,
You don't really.
you really don't want to move because the parking is not easy to get.
Yeah. It's like one thing, like in the morning and the evening, it's easier to find parking, but during the day,
Oh yeah.
you don't want to leave. But they do have a lot of, like in Schaumburg, lots of good food.
Well,
And if you don't mind driving.
DoorDashing is better too.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more options than like what we have, like you said, in Ohio. There's like no options. So that's definitely we definitely have more options. For
Yeah.
food.
There's a sushi place that has the conveyor belt.
Well, you know how much I hate sushi.
Trying to think, what else do I have in here? That's kind of what I got.
Okay. So now we're gonna kind of talk about
The name. So I think we both have a lot of feelings about the term All American, not as like the show, but like the name, the words.
I mean, what does America mean to you?
Yeah.
Being citizen of
Yeah. Because I grew up in a small town, so like I always, when I was there, very much felt a lot of like, there was a lot of patriotism, though at the time I didn't realize how misinformed it was, the patriotism. But there was a lot of like, we love America there. And like, I liked the idea of it. But then once I saw it, like once I was able to see it for what it was like, this doesn't feel I don't feel very prideful about this. And even more so now, like, that back then it was hard to have a lot of pride in our country, when I was in high school and stuff. But it's gotten a lot harder, like a lot. And I've had moments of hope, I felt very patriotic when I voted for Obama for my first president, like my first time voting, and felt good for a little bit. And then things went downhill. And like, nothing against Obama. I thought he was a good president. He didn't do as much as I would have liked him to. And there's things that like I disagree with a lot of things that every politician does.
Well,
So
and see, and that's what I always thought made this country work. And like, I hate. I don't use something to hate. I hate when people go, if you don't like it, leave.
yeah.
I hate that. Because you know what? This is the only country I know where I was born, this is where I was raised. But if we don't like something, we change it.
Yeah.
Like that's how our democracy works. If we're not happy with what's happening, we vote somebody else in and we hopefully get more of what we want.
Well, and
We're never
it's
gonna
not a
find
good way to live in general, like with anything, is to, I don't like this, so I'm just going to walk away. You have to, things aren't going to change if you don't help change.
honest. Think about where we were when our country elected our first president, Washington, what,
I don't know. My brain wants to say 1776, but that was the Declaration of Independence.
Right, yeah, I think it was 72, but I don't know. But so we elected our first president, and what was happening in this country, right? Like we killed off a lot of Native American tribes. We had slavery that was like everybody, all the white men had them, and that was cool. Women weren't allowed anything, I mean, there was just all these different things that were going on, and that was the way it began.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, and I hate to say it, but like the people who created it, bunch of rich white guys who had slaves, and like they might have had some good intention. I think they did. But they also, like, the country literally got built off of killing off who was here and taking it over.
Killing and stealing.
Yeah, killing and stealing. And then they were just like, we want to be free, free from England because we don't want to pay fucking taxes. It was all about it was all about money.
So here we are. This is how we began, which, like it or not, this is our beginning. But then they put something together, this Constitution and this Declaration that tried to, it was a like you said, it was a good intention. It was a nice thought.
I mean, a lot of it made sense at the time.
I think honestly, they thought that it was all going to stay the way it was, right? Like nobody could foresee 250 years into the future where we would be. But we built on it. We built on that, and we grew, and I don't think we fully acknowledged our shortcomings as a country.
We still don't.
Right. Naturally not amended our shortcomings. We haven't done all we should. But I thought we'd made progress, right? And of course, when I was younger, I had no idea.
You grew up in a smaller town too, right?
Nope, I grew up right here.
Oh, right
ain't
here?
small. This ain't a small town.
I thought you
Right here. That's where I grew up.
Thought it was further north.
My mother is from Superior.
That's why I had it in my head.
My mom was from Superior, which is a small town.
Yeah.
But no, I grew up right here.
It's funny because I don't see Superior as a small town.
Well, it's not that small, right? It's not that small, but it's smaller than this.
Yes.
And it was smaller, of course, like Shears.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we've come a long way, but today we're going backwards.
Yeah.
Trying to go backwards for all the wrong reasons. And it's disgusting. And you said that, you think that our forefathers had good intentions. And I think you're right. Now, even though I don't think any of them were ready to give up their slaves or, let the wives,
we're good people.
right, let the wives have rights. I think their intentions for the country were, fine, fine, right? But we have an administration now that they're not out. Their intentions are not good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, their intentions are just not good.
Yeah.
And here we are. So all American.
Yeah.
The name, the word American, it's very hard for me to feel good about that.
When I traveled abroad, it's very hard for me to be like, yeah, I'm from America, unfortunately. Like, I hate to say it, but I'm from, like, because I just feel icky about it. And it definitely, as I've gotten older too, like, I've learned more about the actual history, because what I got for history class, what I was actually, not that my history teacher was teaching me a whole lot. I learned more about Anchorman than I did about any history, U.S. history, but
U.S. history has been whitewashed.
no, my U.S. history teacher, he would basically be like, read the chapter, answer the questions at the end, and do all these, like, write out all these definitions for each chapter. And then he'd just put Anchorman on while we worked.
So
Anchorman's funny.
It was hilarious, but
you could have put on Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Right?
At least that would have given me something. But yeah, so I didn't get a great history lesson to begin with, but then, everything that was in those books, it was whitewashed. So I learned more about actual history from my English teachers, who would have me read, like, about historical things. But yeah, as I've gotten older, I've started to learn the real history. Like, they made these people who, they made Columbus out to be this big hero. Yeah. And it's like,
yeah, I love the memes that you see now that, he was, some lost guy.
Yeah.
The Native American saved, right?
Yeah.
That's the reality. And then he showed up and brought more people, and they tried to wipe them out. And it's, it's disgusting and gross. And the fact that we're still doing some of that shit is insane to me. And that's the part that I struggle with. It's that, like, I can reconcile we did some shitty things. Because personally, I've done some not so great things. Yeah, I have, right? So, I don't want to relive them. But I am also like, I try to learn from the shit, the mistakes, and move forward and you keep mistakes and be a better person, learn from it. So,
like, you take responsibility for the things that you did.
Right. Accountability.
Yeah.
And we're not there. Like as a country, we nobody wants to talk about things that are uncomfortable. And you'll get us people that'll go, just don't talk about it, just don't break up. That doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, that's like the whole, like, we don't want to teach critical race theory. And it's like, first of all, critical race theory is a college thing. But also, like, we should learn these things, I mean, think of, like, people of color. Black people don't get to know their history because it's all whitewashed.
Yeah.
Like, even in their schools, even in schools where it might be majority Black, they are still getting the whitewashed version. No wonder everybody's, no wonder they're so angry. I don't blame them. Yeah, I haven't had as much of it because, one, I don't know a ton about my lineage, but the little I know, I came from Bohemian ancestry. We were poor farmers. So, like, and we didn't have slaves. We kind of ended up, like, the Bohemians got mixed in with is it Romanis? Like, the gypsies. Like, we got blended in with that. And so we actually were in we didn't have, like, the slaves and anything. So my history, I don't have, like, a lot of that, like, guilt to it. But John Calhoun, I've adopted the last name now. If there is still a Calhoun Manor in South Carolina, it was a plantation.
or maybe it's George, one of them. There's still a lot of history of the Calhouns in the South, and he's actually distantly related to Jake. It was Calvin Calhoun. He was a president. So he was like distantly related to him. And he was an asshole. Like, and you look into like this history, the Calhoun family, we had a lot of fucking slaves. They did. And John has had to like live with that. And he's had to deal with the fact, like, there are a lot of Black people with the last name Calhoun because they were owned by Calhouns. And when they did become free, all they had was the name. They didn't have their own name. So he like constantly has to like deal like, and he like, listen, he didn't do anything. He did not have the slaves, but he still has to like live with the fact that his ancestry was like that.
This country hasn't come to terms and made amends for that. So many people in this country, whether they're the politicians or even just the citizens, tamp that down and go, oh, that was before. We don't do that now. But it's like you're not understanding the complexity of it, that it's systemic. And we don't own people anymore. However,
but we still treat Black people like second-class citizens.
Absolutely. And we're still doing other things to people that kind of directly came from them.
Yeah.
And we're not acknowledging who built this country, right? There's this idea that, when this country was founded, the only people that could vote were landowners. The landowners were white men, right? Women couldn't own land.
Rich white men.
Right. Landowners, they had the money to own land, and they were white, and they owned slaves. They were the only ones that were allowed to vote. So of course the rules were made for them.
Mm-hmm. They still are.
They still are, absolutely. But so it's like this disparity in like the wealth.
Yeah.
Well, these are the people with all the money. Right. But where did they get the money?
Yeah.
You're not self-made.
No.
If you inherited it off the backs of slaves. Because you didn't go out and, build that fucking car. You had people build the car.
Yeah.
You had an idea. Great. Thank you for the idea. You didn't actually physically do the labor.
Yeah.
But yet you're the one getting all the accolades and all the money from it. And we just don't, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just why I'm holding the amethyst.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, I think patriotism means to me being, and what I think all American should stand for is we are a melting pot of all of these cultures, and we should all be appreciating each other's cultures, and it should be shared more. We don't have to make our own culture. We should be sharing each other's in a respectful way, obviously. There's a difference between appreciation and appropriation, and it can be a hard line, but showing appreciation and respect for other cultures and having it be the melting pot, and having us all be, even if we don't all agree, but all be on the same side. We can disagree and still be on the same side. I do believe that. There's certain things that, like, especially nowadays, there's things that some people believe, the Nazi, like, I'm not gonna respect a Nazi's perspective. I can't do that. Yeah, that's a moral issue, but like, we can disagree on policies, fine. But we should be able to talk about it.
Well, when you talk about like being like we agree, or they're both sides. Like, I remember, and it's been a long time, like years, probably decades, since I've was able to have a civil conversation with someone from the other side of the political aisle. But like, we used to think that when we want the same thing, we just have a different approach to getting it.
Yeah. Well, that's how it was.
That's how it was. And that's
it's
why
funny
there was a
'cause-
lot of back and forth, like, oh, now we got a Democrat. Oh, now we have a Republican. Now we have a Democrat. Now we have a Republican. Oh, we have Democrats here, Republicans here. You know, and there's always been kind of that give and take. And then, you know, the cycles go, and now we got to, that didn't go my way, so I'm going to vote for the other guy now. And, you know, and that's fine. I'm not going to be 100% happy with anybody. Even if I think I'm, this is the person I really, really want. This person I'm really happy. I'm really excited. Once they're there, it's not like. And that's the beauty of this country. The way it was founded is that one person doesn't get to make all the rules.
Yeah.
Right? That's why it works.
Yeah.
You know, as difficult as it has been for 250 years, it's worked because we don't give one person all power. It's shared.
Yeah.
And we are now in a position, and you know, I sit back and go, how the hell did we get here?
I mean, we
think we know how we got here. Because there was too much complacency on one side, and the other side has been undermined by.
I know a lot of it is there's one side that, you know, the Democratic side, they try to do so many things by the book. And I appreciate the want to do that, but the other side doesn't want to do by the book. But also, like, just we don't have the ability as a country to all stand up together as for something. You know, when that war happened, the Civil War, or not the Civil War, when we basically got our freedom from the Revolutionary War. So when the Revolutionary War happened, as much as yes, it was mostly just a bunch of white rich guys that wanted to avoid taxes, but the entire country stood together and went, no, I'm not letting you do this. We don't do that anymore. I mean, half our country is okay with Stalin, or not Stalin, the Russian guy, the current Russian dictator. Like, a large portion of our country, like, our president is friends with him. Like, that's a problem.
Well,
you know,
it's interesting how much is where it's not a game or it's not a deal breaker anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there was a time when nobody would have been okay with a pedophile.
Yeah.
In office, and yet here we are. Here we are. You know, I mean, people are just twisting themselves in knots to make an excuse when the reality is this motherfucker is guilty of child rape.
Yeah.
I mean, he just is. I mean, not to mention he's just a gross human being, but he's done really horrible things. And not only are we letting him get away with it, but we're like applauding.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get it. I don't get it. And then with this premise that it's Christians.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Jesus is rolling in his grave right now. It's garbage. Because this is not. There's nothing Jesus-like happening in this administration at all.
So, like, I don't know if you know what happened. I don't remember if it was the end of last year or the beginning of this year with Syria.
Their president, they are a democracy now. It's only been like a short amount of time since they've become a democracy. And their president tried to declare martial law. He did it at like 3:00 in the morning, and then like brought the army in to like try to keep everyone out of parliament and stuff. And it was really cool actually, because I went to Korea not too long after it, so I got to hear firsthand about it. But it happened. He announced it, and the entire country fought against it. Like the entire country they showed up and showed out. Like they're like, fuck no, we're not doing this. We're not going back because not too long ago they were in a dictatorship. And they're like, we're not going back to that shit.
And we're in that place where we're not. Well, I don't know. Maybe we are full on dictatorship. I don't know. I mean, I think there's still some people out there.
I don't know who makes that decision. Like,
I don't either. But I mean, I think there's still some people that have power to stop what's happening, too many people are benefiting. From what's happening. And when I say benefiting, I mean like financially benefiting and their power, the power that they're given. And that's the part that's what I find so bizarre. Like, I never understood. I don't think I could ever be in a cult. Thankfully, right? I don't think I could ever be in a cult. First of all, I don't shit that cults tend to try to drag
I've always,
into.
like, for me, it depends because, like, there's the culty cults. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But, like, I call, like,
K-pop fandom, that is totally a cult, but I'm all for that.
Yeah, that's not,
those kind of things.
that's not the same thing. But like what I'm seeing with people, this idea that you're willing to throw everything that actually, like, that's reality, that actually makes sense for you, for me, willing to throw all of that aside for something that doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't get it. I don't get the Trump appeal.
Yes.
It makes zero sense to me. Putting aside the fact that he's just a wild human being, like, he does not embody what the Christians claim he embodies.
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense. Like, what has he ever done Christ-like? Like, throw up the 10 Commandments, and I mean, I don't
even
think
hold the Bible the right side
I don't
up.
think
So
he's murdered anybody himself.
he
He definitely caused some murders, though.
But I don't think, I mean, I don't know all the 10 Commandments, but I don't think I think he's broken.
Yeah, it's
You know,
definitely not following them.
yeah, he's broken. I mean, I can think of a couple, that I know he's broken, like coveting his neighbor's wife and adultery, and yeah. So I don't get that. So he's not Christian. He's not an everyman, right?
Yeah.
Like, this idea that he's one of us, the fuck he is.
Yeah.
He was given $1 million or $4 million or whatever from his father. He didn't self-make anything, right? He didn't create anything.
Yeah.
He's bankrupted how many businesses? He used his foundation to funnel money, so he's a crook.
Mm-hmm.
He cheats his employee. Been bankrupt how many times? I mean, there's nothing about him that I could relate to.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. If he walks on 2 feet, okay. But that's about it.
Yep.
So I don't understand that appeal and that, like, camaraderie there. It makes zero sense to me.
Yeah.
And yet these people are all in. They're all in, and they're willing to just go, he didn't do those things. He told you he did, but he didn't listen to what he said. He's telling you what he's done. He told you what he was gonna do, and you just like, he didn't say that. There's his word. I don't know. I don't get it. I do not fucking get it. And all I can think is that, there's all this shit that's happening in this world right now, not just in this country, but war in Russia and Ukraine, war, it's not even a fucking war, it's a genocide. In Gaza, there's tiptoeing around with Iran. Thailand.
I can't keep track of all of them. And then the Ukraine.
There's some turf wars happening there. North Korea is always like, keep an eye on them because who knows. I mean, there's just so much.
I feel like they've been quiet lately.
Which is super disturbing.
Fresh fun.
Big quiet. Yeah. But all these things that are happening, and I don't even know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
It's like I'm hoping that there's anything left.
Yeah.
And if there'll be anything left, I mean, I have grandchildren,
Yeah.
I'm terrified. I'm terrified the world that's being left about, and what's going to be left.
No, it's tough. Yeah. That's why it's so tough to feel patriotic, feel American. It's
hard to be proud to be American right now. The rest of the world is laughing at our country. And they're not great either. Like,
the global power we used to be.
No.
And this idea that, we're going to make America great again, I don't know what time frame they think they're going to take us back to, but we're not. We've never been great.
Yeah.
I mean, great where? Where were we great? I mean, I think the only thing you really have to look back on and go, that was great or that was good was, the progress we made. It's been fucking slow.
Yeah.
So fucking slow. Like,
I mean, we're way behind the rest of the world.
It shouldn't be though as fucking slow as it has been. But we've made some progress in some areas, and now we've got this administration that it's with everything in the power to undermine and undo.
Bring us backwards.
And bring us backwards. And it's like, I don't know what you think to bring us here.
Not what we want.
It's not. It shouldn't be. And this whole idea, like I said, it started with people saying, if you don't like it, leave. My ancestors immigrated to this country. Right? I was born here. My parents were born here. Their parents were born here. I don't know what generation,
Yeah.
here. But we didn't sprout from the ground of this.
Yep.
So, you know what? If we all go back to where we came from, my husband's going to be here.
Yep.
I won't be here.
Maybe slightly further south.
You won't be here.
Oh no, I won't.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
this country, I think this country was built on freedom. But if we're not all free, none of us are free.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I struggle with. It's this it's like we're trying to go back to this place where only white men with money.
Yeah.
Make the rules, 63. That's not it.
Yeah.
That's not the America I know.
So if you were going to redefine American and like what that means to people, how would you like to see it redefined?
Well, I like what you were talking about, like this being not so much a melting pot, because I think sometimes when you think of a melting pot, you think that everybody's melting together. That's something
that's new, I guess.
Different, right? I don't necessarily see it as that, but just the idea of all the cultures is here. Sharing, more of a that's a soup. That's a good way to put it. Like everything has its own flavor, and it adds to the overall flavor.
But they still have their separate flavors. Yeah. I like it.
And that's that's what I would love.
So we're redefining America as soup.
Yes, soup. Wherever all the different flavors coming together and complementing each other.
Yeah.
And standing out and still being, together.
Yeah, and I think also it would be like I want to see community. Yeah. I think one thing that we lost that
when we became the United States is we stopped working together. We became individuals, which I appreciate my individualism, but there is also a lot of just taking care of myself. There's no community, it used to, in other countries, like raising a child is grandparents, aunts, uncles, like the whole family works together, like the neighbors, everybody helps take care of, take care of them. And that's how humans are supposed to be. And so I would like to see that community come back. We do see it, in grooming shows, like seeing it's a small, but watching our community come together and work together, like I want to see that on larger scale, like working together, even though we're different, there are just in our industry, there are groomers who are very straight-laced. They don't swear. It's not very common, but like, they don't have the tattoos and all of that. And then there's the people, there's people who have dreads or bright colored hair and tattoos. And like, we have a lot of individualism within our industry. And I'd like to see our country be more of that community. Like last year at Hershey, I really felt it because
did you ever see the video that Evan made before the Barkley Award? So they posted it online, but he did this thing about how our industry is a community and we're bringing each other together basically and helping, it was a really sweet sentiment. And it reminded me that at least our industry, though there are outliers within it, is a lot of community and love and compassion. And I would like to see that redefined. Like, I would like to redefine our country and the community, like, into more of that. So we have it kind of on that small scale, and I'd like to see it everywhere. Oh,
I don't get it. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I have a hard time understanding the ideals on the right. There's things that I get, but there's also, like, to me, it always comes down to show me.
Yeah.
Show me. You can tell me all kinds of things, but if you don't show me,
yeah,
then I don't know, right?
Your actions speak louder than words.
Actions speak louder than words. Fraction rather than promotion, right? If I want somebody to believe what I believe, I got to show them that, this is why I believe it.
Yeah.
This is why you should believe it. I try to respect everybody's points of view.
Mm-hmm.
I try. And just talking about our industry, I mean, we started this episode talking about the All-American Show and creative, which I think is a really kind of a good summary.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's been a lot of controversy around creative grooming. You get the people that are not in our industry that are very divided.
Yeah.
Some people think it's really cool. Some people think it's abuse. They think it's abuse. And if they're, and then there's all the in the middle, right? And it's not that far off inside the community too. We have groomers that are like, they're like, no, I would never do that. You should never do that. And then you have groomers that push the envelope and it's like, I don't know if you should do that. Like, but I'm all for, being creative, but that might be, you might be borderline not doing the right thing, right? So, but I try to respect everybody's, opinions in that field, but I expect the same.
Yeah.
If I choose to do creative grooming or I choose not to do creative grooming, I want respect.
Yeah. Tattoos,
If you have them or don't have them. People that have very strong opinions on tattoos, like very strong opinions on your hair.
Yep.
Yeah. And so.
Yeah.
And that,
No, I've even, like, the thing with my hair, I have struggled with that a lot because my hair is it was a very spiritual decision for me. But also a little bit of a sensory thing, because I hated the feel of my loose hair. It just drove me nuts. And like, this feels better, but also there was a spiritual reason behind it. And I don't like to talk about it. It's a personal decision that I made, but because of it, I struggle back and forth constantly, and I do listen to everybody's opinions, and, I still get some people who don't agree with them, but the majority of people are like, pretty understanding. And then I also did the work of, I learned a lot of the history behind it and why it's so controversial. So like, I still have them. Some people might think it's cultural appropriation, but I do put a lot of work into knowing about it and understanding it. So at least for me, this is me showing appreciation. I'm like, I appreciate why they, have these strong feelings about it. And I, try to always learn more, but.
And I have, my thoughts, why can't I do something that, like, why can't I show my appreciation for this other culture by doing this? Like, to me, I think there's fine line
It-
between
very
cultural
much.
appreciation and cultural appropriation. And honestly, I think a lot of it can go there.
Yeah.
Like, what am I really trying?
Your intention.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my intention. What am I trying to be here?
Yeah.
Is it just me wanting to express myself and my individuality and what's spiritual to me? Or is it me trying to, and that's why, like, the whole witchy path, I struggled with, because there's a lot of stuff that I don't do. Witch, and then it's like, what? Fuck, I'm a witch if I say I'm a witch.
Yeah.
Right? That's just who I am. This is the label I've chosen for myself, and this is why I've chosen it for myself. And I don't have to, mix and shit in my kitchen or my cauldron. I don't have to make a circle and, worship whatever gods, goddesses are out there. I don't have to do it exactly like this for it to be mine.
Yeah.
For it to be personal. And, I can wear what I want to wear. I can, do I hair the way I want to. I think there's things that are okay and not okay. Just bottom line, though, fuck around and find out. Like, if in my head I'm thinking I'm going to behave like this, and then there's consequences, that's kind of the way it is.
Yeah.
I'm self-aware enough to know that not everybody's going to appreciate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Squeezing this freaking amethyst pretty tight, though.
I think, we obviously can't change the whole country, but in the ways that we can do it, we can try to redefine American to ourselves and act the way that you would like everyone else to act. Like, act with respect and, work with community and just love, however works for you. But, like, we need to redefine American, at least to ourselves, and find a little bit of patriotism somehow. Because it is hard to be patriotic right now. But I also think if we give up on it, we're probably, like, if we give up on it, then, and just be like, well, I'm just not going to be patriotic, then we're losing the fight, basically. We need to make our own choices.
I'm not ready to put up an American flag. But you know what? I never really floated an American flag. I think we had a flag up on our house, I don't know, 20 years ago. I don't know where it came from. Actually, you know what? I take it back. When I was in like middle school, I went to Washington, D.C. with my best friend. And her mom had bought flags that were flown over the White House. And we each got a flag. Cool. That had flown over, and they came with the date that it was flown, signed by that president at that time. Might have been Reagan.
Yeah.
It must have been Reagan. But anyways, so I had a flag, and I think my dad had it. And I think he gave it to me. It was mine, but I didn't forgot all about it.
Yeah.
That this thing existed. So I think that was the flag that we might have. I have no idea what happened to it or anything since then. But I think we could flown that on the house.
Yeah.
But like.
Yeah.
I've just never been one to fly an American flag.
Well, I also, like, for me, I would want to treat that flag with respect.
And it's not, I'm not there, right? I would be flying. If I was going to fly one today, it would be upside down. I mean, it would
That
be.
is true.
I mean, because that's the sign of distress. And I think we're in distress.
Yeah.
So it's better for me just not to fly one.
Yeah. No, I think, but we can redefine it. We can act as the way we would like to see our country. And if we all work together, bring our magics together. The soup. We're soup. So, yeah. All right. I have a couple spins and stims things. So it's show dog or nah. So show dog, we're going to slay it, bring it, work it. And then nah is let it go, not this time. So wearing full glam all day at the show.
No. No. Comfort. No.
Comfort all the way.
Read that shit.
There's nothing wrong with you doing it. I'm just not going.
If you're comfortable.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable being like that, go for it. But I think it's gotta be comfortable.
Yeah.
So I would say.
Yeah.
Let's see. Blowing your budget at the vendor hall.
No, nah. And that, again, we go back to like kind of give yourself an idea, do some research and see what things are going to cost. Come with your list of I must have this, and then bring some extra money because there's going to be splurges, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're going to classes, somebody's going to mention something, and you're going to think,
yeah, I need that.
I gotta have it, or I want to try it. So definitely, give yourself wiggle room, but don't blow it.
Yeah.
Give yourself a big budget.
Yeah. Bring
enough to cover the cost of the must-haves. Go on the high side, right?
And plus that.
Right. Go on the high side of that. Right. If you research, if you look up the dryer, and the most expensive dryer is, let's say, $300. Make it $350. But bring enough money. That's your budget. But then bring an extra 100.
Yeah.
Above that, whatever it is, bring more than your budget. But don't blow it, right? Give yourself enough wiggle room.
Buying 3 new shears, even though you needed 1.
So this is a tough one because shows tend to have really good deals. So while I only need a straight, I can actually get a straight, a curve, and a chunker for only another $150 or something like that. So that's I don't know, that's in the middle.
Yeah.
That's gonna be in the middle.
I always end up buying. I want to be the responsible one and be like, no, I'm not going to I'm blowing my budget.
But then again, this is why I say, look at your reason.
I tell myself that my budget is actually about $200 less than what it actually is, so that I go over.
Like if you're a brand new groomer, I don't recommend buying $200 shears.
No.
But if
you're gonna drop them,
if you've been grooming for a few years, I think $200 is not unreasonable for a nice pair of shears. So if you go in planning to spend $200 piece for shears, and you need a perm and a straight, or a chunker and a straight, whatever you need, and you budget for that, I think there's a very good possibility that you might find a better deal.
Yeah.
Like if you think I'm going in and I'm getting this company's, ABC's shears because they're the best, but then you find XYZ shears and they're a better deal. Yeah. Be open. Find it.
Rewriting your seminar the night before.
Sometimes you gotta do. Like I wouldn't recommend it, but it should happen.
I mean, so I always just go through it the night before. Just do a check over to make sure I didn't forget anything, make sure everything's working. But almost always I end up making some changes during that time. So just don't rewrite the whole thing.
I think it's good, especially if you're doing the same seminar. I need to tweak mine. I don't want to give the exact same seminar I gave last year.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to make sure I'm tweaking it a little bit, because inevitably I might have people come back to me, but I don't want them to have to sit through the exact same. This is a complaint I have.
Yeah.
But their seminar is the same seminar, and I've already seen it.
Well, unless it's me, I will. I forget. It's like I'm watching a whole new seminar, so.
Everything I'm just saying, if you tweak it a little bit, at least then it's like, oh, that's something I have to do before.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Excuse me. Crying in the hotel lobby.
I will hug you.
See, I'm not good at the whole like just doing it, like looking at them kind of thing. I'll just very awkwardly be like, "Do you need a hug?" Yeah, I'm not usually a big like a big hugger. People know that about me, but if it's asked first, I don't like most of the time I'm down for it. It's when it's a surprise, it does throw me off. And also I'm super awkward. So it's always one of those like dances like
If I'm like conversing with somebody, I don't really, I don't necessarily want you to run up and hug me well, I'm also
yeah. Yeah. I just need warning. Just be like, "Hey, can I hug you?" If you need a hug, say, "Hey, I need a hug," and I will give you a hug.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Forget it. I'm a hugger.
For me, it's easier if you use words because I don't catch the.
Yeah, if you need that verbal.
But yeah, if you just need a big squeeze because your nervous system is on 200, yeah, we're always around. Couple more. Bringing your own emotional support human.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
I bring Brenda. Brenda is my emotional support human. I really need to get you a shirt.
Yeah. I won't get to wear it because I always got my work shirt.
True.
Make me a button.
Yeah. Ooh, I like it. We're gonna make you a button. Emotional support human. Free hugs.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. If you're like me and you don't like to you have a hard time starting conversations, get with someone like Brenda, who is extroverted, and she'll start a conversation from nothing.
I remember Blake is my boyfriend. I'm just putting it out there so everybody knows. Sorry, Blake, deal with that. And that's what I refer to him. So I run up and hug him every time, and I go put him with my boyfriend. And it's funny because I think at Rocky Mountain 2 years ago, last year or 2 years ago, I ran up and hugged him, and Sam was with me, and he's like, "Did you just like leave your actual?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I deal. He knows. He's fine." But I remember running up to him at a show, and other people, friends of mine, kind of like awestruck, like starstruck a little bit.
Yeah.
He's out there, right? And love him or hate him, he's out there. And this particular friend of mine, they were kind of like starstruck.
Yeah.
And and they were just it's so funny because it's like, I knew Blake before Blake was. I met Blake. I don't even know how long ago it was.
Yeah.
Years ago, same thing. He was in a group or something I was in online, and he wasn't in California and wasn't at a salon in Frisco. And I said, "Hey, I'm going to be out there." Because I think it was our first visit out there, so it had to be like, I don't know what year it was. My kids first moved out there. And we just went. I showed up at the shop he birthed at, and and it was like we were immediately, we were friends, and so I saw you help people.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I know that not everybody loves Blake. I love Blake. I remember being with somebody who doesn't like Blake, and they were talking shit, and I'm just like, "Hey, I love him. You can have your own opinion."
I just don't know him personally that well. Oh.
I don't care. Have your opinion.
He has beautiful hair.
I love him. I'm not afraid to say it.
He has been making a lot of funny content. His TikToks are hilarious. Did you see the one where it was like when your coworker accidentally sprays you with the water?
Yeah. No.
We're cooler. No, we're not.
We're here to you still.
So, also, I've noticed some people are will get some starstruck with me sometimes.
Yeah, because you become larger than life because you're
Yeah,
you TikTok.
Yeah,
social media. You're always talking. You're and then you seminars. And I mean, there's still people in the Citrus Street, and I'm just like
every time I see Lisa Leedy, and we talk. I've
taken a ton of lessons with her. I've done classes with her, like competed against, like under her. And she's like the nicest person ever. But every time I get like that, I can't say anything.
Yeah. I'll talk to them, but it's the same thing. Like,
I don't know what to say.
They won't remember me. Yeah. Right? Like, I always think how they won't.
Yeah.
Like, I know who they are, but they don't know who I am.
I remember the first time that I went to All American. I was so excited because Lisa Leedy was like my first, I don't know, industry idol, I guess. And so it was my first time going to All American, and I posted and like in the group, and I'm like, I'm so excited to see Lisa's class, like something like that. And I waited after the class she was like finishing up the dog and answering questions. So I was like watching, and she actually looked at me and was like, "Hey, Stephanie, how are you?" And I'm like, so just remember, all of these people are just like, they're normal humans. Just because they seem all like famous and stuff they're just normal people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would also say be careful who you put on a pedestal, because you might meet them and be like,
I've had a couple of those too.
yeah, I have to. Where it's like, maybe not. But
yeah, it's the worst is when you put someone up on a pedestal, and I'm not going to say the name, but there was one person, I had them up on a pedestal and I thought they were great. You know, I had seen them on social media, I'd followed, and I was expecting good things. They were doing a business class, and it was the most misogynistic thing I have ever heard. I don't walk out of classes even if they're not interesting, but I had to leave. And it was really disappointing because I was really excited and that weekend I also competed with them as my judge, and they gave me like nothing for critique. It was just like, yeah, just he's cute.
And I've had the opposite to happen, where like I maybe have, I don't want to say a preconceived idea of a person, but let's just say I haven't really seen this person as human.
Yeah.
So to speak. Like I always see maybe they post stuff that's very into how I don't see a lot of personality in it, like stuff. It's very straightforward. It's very, appropriate, but it's like not very like warm and welcoming, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So I have this preconceived idea that maybe this person is, a little too straight laced or ho hum.
Yeah.
And then I'll go to a class and be like, and with this idea that, well, I really want to take this class because of the subject, but I'm not looking forward to this person. And then being like, wow.
Yeah.
Like this online persona and what I'm getting in person is very different.
Yeah. So that is one thing I really try to put a lot of my own self into my social media, because I've always worried that I'll like disappoint
people. Like they'll expect something and I'm not it.
Right. And I can see where that might, for this person that I'm thinking of, I can see where that might be like a turn off for somebody. Like, this is how they present themselves on social media, and that's not really how they are.
Yeah. If I saw them on, like, I don't know the details, but if I saw someone on social media that was not interesting to me and I didn't enjoy their social media, if I saw their class, even if it was a subject I was interested in, I might not do it. I might not go because, they don't have, I don't think their personalities will match. So that's why I try to put a lot of my personality into it. So at least they know what they're getting, even if it's a little chaotic.
I say this all the time, don't limit yourself to one source of information. Mm-hmm. Even if you don't think you're going to get much out, and you might not. Yep. You might not. You might go, damn it, that's an hour I'll never get back in my life. But then again, you might be pleasantly surprised. So, just be open.
Yeah.
Be open.
So, ready for the Oracle pull? All right. So we got prosperity.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is again from the Enchanted Blossoms one, because I'll eventually move on, but like I love this one. So the flower is allium, and the butterfly is a Brazilian swallowtail. So related to the onion and garlic, allium was one of the earliest cultivated crops. The Egyptians were among the first to document onion harvesting, but peoples of the ancient world had been doing so for generations. In the mid-19th century, allium was explicitly cultivated as an ornamental bulb for gardens. In that short time, gardeners have created a fantastic array of flowers, and allium can now be planted in a wide range of colors and sizes. Their large, round flower heads can grow up to 10 inches in diameter. We tend to think of prosperity as an end goal. For most people, being prosperous means to be rich or to have everything they always wanted. However, this is not always the case. The card is asking you to work towards creating a life that is full of richness. Grow yourself, your friendships, and experiences to make each year better than last year. Yearn to do better or do more, not necessarily monetarily, but in ways that will serve others and make you happy. Learn, grow, and do things that will improve your world. If something doesn't work, don't just give up. Failure is a lesson that helps us grow faster. Prosperity comes from consistently moving toward bigger and better things. So yeah.
One of the things you said in there, and I would say this would be my parting gift to all of our listeners and everybody when you go to the All American Show, is that when the weekend is over, that you can reflect and say, I can't wait till next year.
Yep.
To come back next year. That's what I hope for everybody.
Yeah.
Is that you get something out of it that makes you want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So wishing you guys all some prosperity at All American. It's actually great. You know, these shows are a time of learning and learning to do better and community as well. And so we should celebrate that. So, all right. So just before we close, you can follow us at the Enchanted Grooming Table, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And I am going to try to get more stuff posted. I got to get you access to, I know I can get you Facebook and Instagram access. I don't know how to do TikTok because that's weird. But so you can at least like see things and respond. But people did comment on, people did comment on our TikToks. So, and I haven't responded yet because I have been busy. So if you get a chance to, but yeah, so you can follow us on there. You can also, meet us at All American. Come say hello.
have store direct food.
Yep. And then, if you want to hang out an evening, we don't do like big party stuff usually because we're exhausted. But, we could probably grab.
Yeah, we could also make it a point to maybe let people know.
Yeah.
So that. Yeah. Anyways.
Do a little powwow in the lobby.
Right. We'll find out.
Yeah.
All right. So, as above, so below, may your pets be clean and your spirit glow. Until next time, bye.